No one ever said acting was easy. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 movie roles that were too mature for child actors.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
For this list, we're ranking the films that featured roles that demanded a lot from their young thespians. Be it through the flick's inclusion of heavy dramatic monologues or adult themes, these roles put child actors in the type of scenes they likely wouldn't have been allowed to watch if they weren't involved.
Am I to understand that 10-year-old boy told you he was your late husband, Sean?
Number 10. Mindy McCready, also known as Hit Girl. Kick-Ass. It's never an easy task combining children with graphic violence in the world of cinema. The 2010 adaptation of Mark Millar's Kick-Ass comic never felt exploitative or cruel when it came to showcasing this violence, but that doesn't make the casting of Hit Girl any less eyebrow-raising. Chloe Grace Moretz, for her part, does a wonderful job in the role, lighting up the screen with intense fight scenes, while simultaneously bringing a healthy dose of dark humor with her pervasive cursing.
Okay, you c***s. Let's see what you can do now. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
All that to say, her performance as Hit Girl certainly wasn't kid-friendly, nor was it meant to be. This was mature stuff. Number 9. Addie Loggins, Paper Moon. Tatum O'Neal was 8 years old when she took on the role of Addie in Paper Moon for director Peter Bogdanovich.
You my pa?
Of course I ain't your pa.
The daughter of Hollywood icon and co-star Ryan O'Neal had no acting experience, but for her incredible performance, she ended up winning an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress.
You really think I'm as pretty as my mama?
Of course I do.
This certainly couldn't have been easy for the young O'Neal, however, as Paper Moon demanded a whole lot of hard work and dedication to film what was a mature, textured screenplay. Paper Moon also featured plenty of adult content, smoking, mild sexual themes, and violence, making Tatum's believably charming performance all the more incredible.
Shooting at us!
Number 8. Dolores Lolita Haze, Lolita. There's no getting around this one, as the problematic plot of Lolita involves a middle-aged man becoming sexually obsessed and involved with a teenage girl.
Well, I have to go to school. What about my education?
Lolita was originally a 1955 novel by Vladimir Nabokov and was made into a movie multiple times, but the two we're focusing on here cast teenagers in the lead. Sue Lyon first raised eyebrows with her performance in a slightly comedic film by Stanley Kubrick in 1962, while Dominique Swain upped the ante with a darker remake in 1997.
You tell me who it is. Who is it? Who is it? Tell me who it is.
The role itself demanded a lot from both actresses, as Lolita is intended to be both innocent and seductive, which can make the work more than a little uncomfortable for even the most confident young performer. Number 7. The entire cast, Kids. Kids garnered a lot of controversy upon its release in the mid-90s, as director Larry Clark pulled no punches, bringing Harmony Korine's gritty screenplay to the big screen. The film also cast real and unpolished young actors to tell their tale of disaffection, amorality, and sexual irresponsibility amongst a group of NYC teenagers.
Just take it. You look sad. Come here. Just take it. Just swallow. I promise.
Critics called out Clark for the arguably sexualized gaze he placed upon the young actors. The film itself also never flinches from presenting these characters as deeply flawed, sometimes to the point of being irredeemable. Nevertheless, the cast is the reason why Kids is remembered today, for better or worse, as they all delivered performances of a lifetime. Number 6. Regan MacNeil, The Exorcist. It's the horror movie that frightened a generation, and that made young Linda Blair into a household name. But did The Exorcist go too far? Well, some may argue that casting Blair as a demonically possessed girl who pleasures herself with a crucifix as crossing the line, and they'd be right. But it's scenes such as this that helped make The Exorcist a disturbing horror classic for the ages. It isn't just the possession scenes that showcase Blair's acting ability, however, as it's her otherwise sweet demeanor that makes those sequences so powerful.
The power of Christ compels you!
We're rooting for her all the way, and we want to see her safely through to the end. Number 5. Claudia, Interview with the Vampire. We're sticking to the horror genre for our next entry, specifically with Kirsten Dunst and her scene-stealing performance as Claudia in Interview with the Vampire.
I want some more.
Of course, you want more.
For starters, there's some serious pathos as Claudia deals with her resentment at remaining physically young, while she emotionally yearns for love, sex, and companionship.
They're expensive, my dear. Maybe too expensive for a young girl like you.
Then there's the often bloody violence that takes place within the film, some of which occurs directly at Claudia's hands.
Yes. I killed them, unfortunately. But it keeps the blood warm.
It takes a special kind of actress to bring both malevolence and innocence to the screen, and in the role, Dunst delivered both of these big time. Number 4. Iris Easy Steensma, Taxi Driver. Jodie Foster has delivered plenty of outstanding performances throughout her distinguished career, but it's her role as Iris in Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver for which history might best remember her.
Well, what's wrong with that? That's a nice name.
That's what you think.
Foster was actually given a psychological test to prepare her for taking on a character who was an underage prostitute, the object of obsession for Taxi Driver's damaged anti-hero, Travis Bickle.
Yeah, but don't you want to go?
I can leave anytime I want to.
Well, then what about that one night?
Foster was also part of the film's iconic but gruesomely violent final shootout, yet she never feels out of place or lost amidst all the heavy events happening around her.
I don't know who's weirder, you or me.
She holds her own and delivers a performance that is mature far beyond her years. Number 3. Lewellen, Hound Dog. The next performance on our list was actually compared to Jodie Foster's work in Taxi Driver by none other than esteemed film critic Roger Ebert. But this doesn't change the fact that Hound Dog was intensely criticized upon its release in 2007.
I like your hair like that, Lewellen. I really do. I like it a lot.
Most of this criticism stems largely from the fact that Dakota Fanning's character of Lewellen suffers a traumatic rape during the film, despite the actress barely being in her teens. Lewellen also suffers from abuse at home and presents herself in a highly sexualized manner, all of which helped stoke the fires of infamy for Hound Dog, which recovered only a fraction of its $3.5 million budget at the box office.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time.
Number 2. Mathilda Lando, Leon the Professional. It's nearly impossible to discuss director Luc Besson's film Leon the Professional without talking about Natalie Portman's breakout performance as Mathilda.
He's opened the door.
The young actress was poised, charismatic, and calculating as a young orphaned girl who takes up with a contract killer in an attempt to gain revenge upon those who murdered her family.
If you saved my life, you must have saved it for a good reason. If you throw me out now, it's like you never opened your door.
The Professional spends a lot of time on the relationship between Leon and Mathilda, with the latter developing romantic feelings for her mentor, while he trains her in the arts of assassination.
Is he alone? Does he expect you?
It's the proximity between Portman's character and this world of violence, however, which makes it so tragically compelling, and the actress rightfully deserves credit for making it work. Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honorable mentions.
I could kill you now. Go ahead. Jam it in. Gotta push pretty hard, though. The blood will go right across the room. Come on. Is she dead?
She's alive on that machine.
She stinks.
I want to bleed more! Hit me! Make an effort, bitch!
Number 1. Violet and Emmeline Lestrange, Pretty Baby and The Blue Lagoon. Brooke Shields began acting as a child, but her roles were notably mature. She started out in a small role in the cult horror flick Alice Sweet Alice, and came to greater public attention in 1980 with the overtly sexual The Blue Lagoon. In between these films, however, she appeared in Pretty Baby, which spared little in its portrayal of underage prostitution in New Orleans.
You're only hungry, perhaps.
And what's wrong with whores anyhow? I thought you liked us.
Shields does an uncomfortable amount of nudity in the film, considering she was only 12 at the time, and the film would definitely not be made today. However, Pretty Baby was still a hit with audiences and critics, most of whom stopped short of calling the film pornographic or exploitative.
Dad, I'm talking to you!
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.